This program is made possible by the support of Delta Dental, Quick Trip, Marshfield Clinic Health System, Wisconsin Counties Association, Wisconsin Hospital Association. Watch WisconsinEye on Spectrum Channels 995 and 363 and at wiseye.org.
Good morning. My name is Brandon Farrell. I'm a trooper with the Wisconsin State Patrol. I'm based out of the Southwest Region DeForest Post. I've been patrolling Wisconsin's highways and rural roads for the last 20 plus years, working primarily in Dane and Rock County, so right here close to home. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Before you see a representation of the thousands of first responders across the state of Wisconsin who are responding to incidents every day. When chaos erupts and somebody dials 911, it's people just like these you see before you that are the ones that are coming to help. The reason we're here today is we want to draw attention to an issue that's affecting our ability to do our job, and that's the condition of Wisconsin's roads. Over the last several years, we've noticed that roadways in Wisconsin are deteriorating, making it more difficult for us to do our job. One of the key components to us being able to do our job is to efficiently and quickly get to an emergency scene to render aid when needed. With the conditions on the road, it's making that more difficult, and it's also making more accidents happen due to the road conditions. We know it's not our job to determine how to resolve this issue. We're looking for sustainable funding to help take care of Wisconsin roadways. We're here today to just draw attention to an issue that we see as something that needs to be addressed. We're not here to make decisions on how to solve that. And with that, I'll turn it over to some of my coworkers up here, and Mike DeGarmo.
Good morning. My name is Mike DeGarmo. I am a lieutenant with the Racine Fire Department. I'm also joined by Captain Lance Trigstad of the La Crosse Fire Department. My career in the Wisconsin Fire Service spans about 25 years. I've had the opportunity to work in rural, suburban, and urban settings in fire and emergency medical services. When Wisconsin citizens call 911, they expect and deserve a timely response from emergency services. Poor roads are one of the few things that can actually slow our response, and whether that be roads with potholes up to roads that have been shut down for extended periods of time because of their deteriorated conditions and the amount of repair that they need. And of course, in our business, seconds count. And we look around the state, Superior, Ashland, down to Kenosha, Racine, and pretty much every community in between, we see issues with roads and infrastructure. Down in Kenosha, 104th Avenue has been shut down for approximately 9 months. That is a main arterial route to one of the hospitals that Kenosha Fire Department typically transports patients to that facility, and it's added 1 to 2 minutes to their travel time. In the city of Racine, I can tell you that we have had frontline apparatus down for repair on multiple occasions, out of service for 2 to 3 days as the leaf springs on our apparatus have been broken due to the condition of the roads. We think back to about 2 years ago, Speaker Voss actually took a video in the back of an ambulance as they rode around some of the rural roads in the Racine County. And he gave everybody a firsthand view of how rough that ride is for patients. And certainly in our business, we take pride in the compassionate care we deliver. Sometimes that can be overshadowed when our patients just remember the rough roads that they experienced on the way to the hospital. And frozen shared revenue and cuts to local aid, restrictions on increasing local fees have really handcuffed local government in having the ability to fund even some local repairs. So we stand here as a united group focused on public safety, and we're asking the state legislature to find some common sense, sustainable solutions to transportation funding, something that's going to work in the short and long term. So essentially we're calling on lawmakers to pave the way to better roads in Wisconsin, improve public safety, and lead us forward, as our great state motto says. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Dreckman.
Good morning. My name is Nate Dreckman, currently the Grant County Sheriff. I'm also here representing the Badger State Sheriff's Association, where I serve as first vice president. I've been in law enforcement for 24 years, and deputy sheriffs from across the state travel thousands of miles each year responding to calls for service, some of which are related to road conditions. In many of our rural counties, such as Grant County, many of the local roads are often in various states of disrepair, as there simply isn't enough money locally to make the needed improvements and repairs. The sheriffs in Wisconsin are very concerned about roads and the impact they have on the safety of the motoring public, as well as first responders traveling to those emergencies. There are many incidents that are a direct result of deteriorating roads or delays in making the needed changes to the roads to make them safer. Things such as visibility at intersections, potholes in the road, or general road deterioration are often delayed due to funding issues, and it makes it challenging for first responders to get safely to various scenes. In Grant County, for example, we have a highway that over the wintertime would buckle heavily, to the point that first responders would avoid that road because of the roughness of it and take other alternate routes to get to scenes, delaying their response. We as sheriffs know that our elected officials have a tough job, but we need sustainable, long-term funding for roads so that the safety of the motoring public and those who respond to the emergencies can be improved. So let us work together to develop a plan for long-term funding for our roads. It's my pleasure to introduce Jim Brigham from the Dane County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Sheriff. Again, my name is Jim Brigham. I'm here representing the Wisconsin Professional Police Association. We will represent 10,000 men and women in the law enforcement profession. I'm also a Dane County deputy and have been since 1993. And I certainly share the concerns expressed here this morning by our other speakers. In fact, an example that I'll talk about and discuss is U.S. Highway 151 in Dane County, north of Sun Prairie. We've literally had hundreds of vehicle tire blowouts that some have caused accidents in that stretch of roadway. And literally, as I spoke to one of my coworkers yesterday, he told me that last summer, literally every day, they were responding to a blowout tire. Now, it didn't necessarily cause an accident, but they were responding to those. Now, anytime someone is on the side of the road, whether it's a citizen or a first responder, you're putting those people's lives at risk. We've all seen video examples of where law enforcement officers have been hit, citizens have been hit, tending to their vehicle on the side of the road. So it puts people in a very dangerous position. Recently, the WPPA conducted a statewide poll of Wisconsin residents. 90% of those people polled stated that making our communities safer and maintaining that was their number one priority. Number two was maintaining infrastructure. That's roads and bridges. That was a moderate to high priority for 91% of the people in this state. So it's clear that Wisconsinites understand what first responders know to be true. Safer roads make for safer communities. It seems that common sense would dictate that it's more wise to invest in our infrastructure rather than responding to accidents that in many ways may have been preventable from the get-go. The state troopers, police officers, deputy sheriffs travel literally tens of thousands of miles per day on Wisconsin roadways. Because of the high amount of travel that we do, and because of the less than average conditions of our roadways, tires, wheels, suspension components of our vehicles are having to be replaced at greater intervals because of the wear and tear that's created by these poor road conditions. It's costing the taxpayers unnecessarily. So it's clear that we can no longer wait to fix these roadways. We need to find solutions so that we as first responders can effectively and safely do our jobs. And I'll turn it over back to Trooper Farrell.
Thank you. So we've heard some real-life stories from some of the people standing up here. I'd like to share one that I experienced as recently as this spring. Signed down in Rock County for the day. A section of the interstate buckled to the point where it was crumbling apart. Due to that crumbling roadway, they had to close a lane during the middle of the day on a Friday, which is not ideal. The subsequent backup due to that delay caused two more secondary crashes in the backup. So we're seeing it every day, real life, real time, day in and day out, what the roadways are doing. So we all have a vested interest as first responders in making sure that our roadways are safe. We're here to draw attention to that need. We're not here to make policy. That's for our elected officials to do. But we just want to get the word out that it's something that needs to be addressed. So, and with that, anybody have questions, we'll try to answer.
You said you didn't want to talk about policy after you don't want to say whether the gas tax or fees are the right way to go. But the governor's proposed $600 million over 2 years for transportation. Is that the right figure to hit? Do lawmakers need to put that amount of money in?
So I'm not familiar with specific numbers on what the budget breaks down to and where those dollars go to. So that would be outside of my kind of wheelhouse to comment on that.
Could we get you guys to say and spell your names if you spoke? Because we obviously would love to reference you in our story.
Sure.
But you need to get a copy of yours.
Yeah, my name is Trooper Brandon, Brandon, Farrell, F like Frank, Errell.
My name is Mike DeGarmo. Mike, common spelling, last name DE, capital GARMO.
My name is Nate Dreckman, and Dreckman is DRECKMAN.
Jim Brigham, BRIGHAM.
And if there's no more questions of the entire group, feel free to pull us aside when we're done, and if you have additional follow-up, we'll try to answer them best as we can. Okay, again, thank you all for coming.